ALGS roster news continues as we talk about some people bidding farewell or temporary goodbyes inside of the Apex Legends community. Some organizations stepping back into the scene as well. How long are they going to be here? What reasons are they actually here? What rosters are they bringing with them? So many roster changes to dial into and talk about in today's video, so let's dive into it. Firstly, I had to throw this one in there. Pav tweets. If you guys are not familiar with Pav, he's the associate quality designer for Apex, been working at Respawn for a very long time. This guy made it on the Apex Rostermania news for posting. He was looking for one big booty cutie. Good luck to Pav. Hopefully he's able to get it. He did force me at gunpoint to put this in the video, so I had to throw it in there. Also wanted to make mention, Sentinels, a big organization. Obviously, we've seen Sentinels in, out, and this has kind of been a concerning thing for Apex. Why are these people here? Why are they constantly coming back? How ironic that they always come back just months before the big World Cup happens, and you know the word on the street has been that the World Cup has like a guaranteed cash grab for a lot of these orgs, so it's a no-brainer to try to get back in this. And honestly, they picked a good roster. Empire had a very, fair performance here at the ALGS Open not long ago, and I think this is probably, no offense, but I think they were probably a little bit easier to grab financially, being that, they're a little bit more on the come up. Obviously some pro league experience, not to discredit what they've done, but, it's no Imperial Hal type signing. It's not like they were dropping $1 bajillion on this roster. So this is a good way to get a talented roster, get in the conversation for World Cup, for other things, and not break the bank while doing it. So congrats. Obviously, Sentinel's back. You had a couple people excited for this. Hal saying, it's good that they're back. W, that they're back from Keon, Verholz, Curv. So many teams were excited to see them back, which is good all around. Also, Complexity, though, they're making the news with a breakup. Kimchi, Monsoon obviously no longer teaming with Funk, as we'll talk about Funk's roster change in just a second, but also, Capreme is as well. So what happened to Complexity? What's going on? Monsoon posted earlier, well, guys, this is a bittersweet moment, but mostly sweet, sugary sweet. I'll be most likely taking this split off, as I've accepted an offer at the bakery my lovely fiance works at. Before you guys freak out, like, how does Monsoon go from pro player to bakery? This guy is at no normal bakery. He is an absolute phenom when it comes to the culinary arts world. He's been in it for a while. If you follow his streams, follow his Twitter, you've probably seen a lot of the stuff that he's made. Really good chef. I like watching his stuff because I was in culinary arts in high school, just took some classes. So I have a respect for that industry. And nothing wrong with the regular bakery, even if it was a Walmart bakery. Walmart and Sam's Club putting out some of the best cupcakes and birthday cake icing known to man. I don't really know of anybody with a better buttercream icing, just putting that out there. But anyhow, Monsoon says, I'll be streaming, most likely cooking stream, some watch parties, and we'll set up some inside the bakery on busy days as well, but still committing to be in the Apex sphere, saying if I don't get an offer to compete again, I'll probably come back as a coach, just trying to, still network and meet up with people inside of the Apex scene. So I honestly believe this. I think that a lot of these coaches have kind of followed suit with that, or followed to their word. They said that they were going to stick around the scene, and they've gone to coaching, and a lot of them actually have done that. So I would say Monsoon probably going to stick around, but look like maybe not going to compete. Also, Funk, the third. What happened? Complexity obviously made this roster change. Funk, a couple of days ago, had already made his announcement that he was joining GG. Gaming Gladiators, you guys know that 9 months ago, they were looking really, really strong. They had a talented roster, and they were actually getting some decent results here as well. I mean, when Omit had them, Omit was kind of bringing their organization name to the limelight, and then you had that whole contract disagreement, what was going on, and Gaming Gladiators actually picked up that roster, and then this roster goes on to do great things, and they continue to do pretty solid for a couple of months. And then obviously all the meta changes came in, things were hard to keep up with, and I think Funk is going to be a very good addition to this roster. He was already one of the top, controller players inside of North America. Going into the EMEA scene, I think they'll fare well. Could possibly be a flop. Obviously, any roster can be a flop, but I think that this one makes sense. I think this one's good. Hopefully, they have some good success. It's a big commitment going from North America to an entire different region. This one, on the other hand, is super exciting for so many. El Presidente's second term starts now. This is coming from YanYa, or coming from Liquid, about YanYa coming back to Liquid Alienware. Now, this was no surprise. Curv talked about it a couple of days ago on stream after he left Liquid, saying YanYa was obviously the one coming back into this scene. If you guys are not familiar with the former Liquid roster, and not, remembering the origins back here with YanYa and this roster. I mean, so much history, so much lore, so many people naturally gravitated towards them. I think it was almost one of those things where I honestly felt like it was becoming like a baby brother to TSM, where it was like, even if they don't win, Reps and Hal had teamed together for so long, you don't just make roster changes because, results aren't perfect. If they're getting top 5, top 10, you almost keep it just because everybody wants to see this roster compete with each other, play with each other, and, try to grind it out with each other to the end. So I'm excited about YanYa being back, super happy, with this change. And I think YanYa he needs to be in his element. He's tried some other things, but I think it's very clear. He's made it clear. He's got a way of playing and a role that he wants to fill that it's just him. And, there's like no changing that. So also wanted to mention more roster announcements. K20 and Chaotic much after the whole XO E6 merge drama collapse stuff that went on. What happened? Obviously, they were looking for org. Who are they playing with? Turns out it will be Tyler FPS going into this next split. So Chaotic, Tyler, honestly, both of those together, great, talented roster. You guys saw how well Tyler played on Alliance as a substitute, and I talked about how good his stock was just skyrocketing. I'm honestly surprised he didn't get on no offense, but I kind of thought he was going to be on like a top 5 team. Like, honestly, I thought a big organization would make a roster change a couple of months ago, and he would probably get a spot based on his performance. But, he's still on a talented roster. Any of these rosters can pop up at any time and start playing very well. I just kind of would have, assumed that maybe some big organization would have had a roster change in the last 6 months where he would have got a better opportunity that was a little more mainstream, I guess, instead of looking for an org, don't even know where they're going to go. So, good talented roster. We'll see if they can keep up with the competition. Obviously, a lot of it is heating up. Also, leaked changes here. Raven and Curv going to 9 Lives Esports. Interesting to say the least. I think Curv has obviously shown that he's here to stay. He's a very talented player. Coming from South America, by the way, that history in itself is so much to write home about. I mean, we're talking about 3 years ago. South America wasn't even, barely taken serious. A lot of people just said, they got rid of their own pro league, for God's sake. I mean, it was just like crazy how much they were just shunned away from the community. I feel like I'm glad they finally merged them all in together, because another thing people don't think about is whenever you're put against the best competition in the world consistently, you're naturally just going to get better. And maybe that was the opportunity that they really needed, instead of just a simple like, hey, go play your own little stuff inside of challengers. At least come play with the best in the world so that you can get better. I think Apex is one of those games where ping is a little bit less of a problem, back when you compare like Rocket League or COD or anything like that. Battle Royale has so much flexibilities, and ping is not the end of the world. We've seen Jen Burton Zero playing in OCE, playing in North American servers and winning games just fine. So anyhow, interesting change. Obviously, we'll keep you up to date with how things do go there. Also, this one's a little bit of a fuzzling moment for so many. Slab has joined NaVi, and it's a little weird situation because you remember Slab was on Go Next at one point, and then also you're benching a world champion for Slab. So former Go Next player, world champion, goes to NaVi, gets benched. Another former Go Next player comes to NaVi and benches the world champion. Obviously talented players all around, but I don't think anybody is really coming in here saying that this is going to be the move that they needed, right? I don't really think anybody's expecting, and no disrespect to Slab, obviously great players, but I mean, I don't think many people are happy with this move. I mean, look at the comments, worst decision ever, and one of the strangest moves I've seen. So interesting stuff to say the least for NaVi, but that is what is going on. Also, Nasky talked the other day about, trying to find a new team and possibly already having an opportunity lined up. And there's been a lot of stuff going around, conversations going on. I thought this would be I almost want to see one of those teams. I'm sick of seeing so many roster changes where you feel like you can't get behind a lot of teams, and Nasky teaming with like a G-Dolphin, Matafi kind of roster. I know it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, look, they're going through Challenger circuit. You've had people retire, unretire. You had Rostermania stuff happen that screwed over a team from getting their Pro League spot. And then the health stuff here, the health stuff there. I mean, all of this is so conglomerated that it's like unorganized and it's hard to take this stuff serious sometimes. But I do look at the roster like this, and I'm thinking, okay, look, you've got content creator after content creator. Not a lot of people are expecting them to win everything, but why not get together and let the fans get behind you and see if you can do like a Cinderella miracle story. I think it'd be cool. And everybody in the comments is like, I would absolutely love to watch this. Worst case scenario, it'd be great content at the end of the day. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm almost selfish for some more content. I'm kind of sick of I don't know. I mean, I get trying to win, but, no content at all is getting a little dry. We do need some storyline, some lore to invest into. Also wanted to mention that Cap is no longer going to be coaching KOI anymore due to personal reasons. He kind of opened up a couple of days ago about a lot of the stuff that was going on in his health life. And so, obviously, you'll see more coaching opportunities arise. And this is what I'm kind of talking about. Monsoon could easily find himself in a situation like this. I mean, there's so many teams that will need a coach at some point. Monsoon could probably just step into. Lastly, wanted to make mention, roster locks for EWC have now been postponed to a later date. And so this is good for Rostermania. You're going to be able to see more changes happen. And don't forget, last year, we actually saw some people that were making their EWC rosters alongside of their World Championship rosters. So they were kind of going, at the same time, and some people were waiting to make changes for one event over the other event, and some people were just open to say, look, we're done with this roster for ALGS, but we'll continue this roster for EWC, vice versa. So there's a lot of roster changes to take place still. Obviously, keep your noties on, like the video, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with what's going on in the scene. And until the next time, we'll see you all later.